Alright, stay very still. I don't want it to hear us. Now guys, what I'm showing you here is an avid Redditor in its natural habitat. I want to be very careful not to upset it. I believe it mods a couple subreddits, so... Oh, that stench. It fucking reeks. Cover your nose, cover your nose. Now, just so you know, there's a couple trigger words that we absolutely can't say. For example, if you were to disagree with one of its opinions...
Disagree? Opinion? You disagree with my opinion?
Oh, So as you all just saw, I was recently, and very unfairly by the way, kicked off the Kingdom of Sweaty Neckbeard's official website, also known as Reddit. Now you may be asking what I did to deserve this treatment, and, you see, I may have tried to express an opinion on Reddit. I know. Anyone who spent any amount of time on Reddit is probably hitting one of these right now, and I don't blame you. That kind of stuff just doesn't fly over there. But you know, it used to be the case that these guys were shoved into lockers and given merciless wedgies at every opportunity. They used to be yelled at to go home and take a damn shower, as well as to put on some deodorant. But we now live in a day and age where these triple-chinned, obese little blobs of lard and grease get to run around with a collective stench rivaling that of a fish market on a nice hot summer afternoon and tell people what they are and aren't allowed to say on the supposed front page of the internet. So obviously, this can't be, and I finally had to put my foot down. I will not lay down and take this. Instead, I'm gonna make a YouTube video about it. So for anyone who's spent a good amount of time on Reddit, you'll know about Reddit humor. See, Reddit humor is a product of an extremely insulated community that is physically unable to handle ideas that challenge their precious, delicate little worldview. If I were to describe it, it's as if you combine the total lack of self-awareness of your average band kid, mix in the cheesiness and corniness of Marvel humor, and add just a touch of condescension and smugness, and give it all a good shake. Now, there are two good ways to tell that you are, in fact, looking at Reddit humor. The single most obvious sign is, it's not funny. Like, not even remotely funny. Not a chuckle, not a slight exhale from your nose, nothing. And the other way? Sometimes you'll be scrolling on one of the popular subreddits, and you'll see Redditors engaging in what seems to be some kind of weird improv comedy routine. It's similar to seeing two colorful birds dancing and showing off their feathers in the wild. Let me give you a little example. Have you ever seen a comment like this? Maybe it's very mildly, passably entertaining, but then you'll see another comment supposedly going along with the joke, except this time, it's really not that funny. And then you'll see another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And each one is somehow less funny than the last. The craziest thing about this is that Reddit actually has a subreddit dedicated to the exact thing I'm describing, and I could not have thought of a better name myself. r/your joke, but worse. I mean, come on. We'll give credit where credit is due. Yeah. I'm really at a loss as to why they do this. You don't see this anywhere else, but it does make the site borderline unusable. So yeah.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head.
So it really shouldn't be a shock to anyone that Redditors think they are much smarter than they actually are. Spending 14 hours on a website a day around other total midwits who also believe they're insanely smart will tend to do that to you. And the notion that you're smarter than the majority of the population kind of falls apart when you consider the fact that the majority of the population also takes regular showers. The mind of a Redditor is constantly burdened with searching for ways to prove their vastly superior intellect from the comfort of their stained gamer chair. There are a couple ways they may choose to do this. Number one is the telltale sign of any environment where rigorous debate and discourse flourish, banning people who don't immediately and unequivocally agree with everything you believe. Reddit mods love to ban people. We learned this from a bunch of experiments I don't really have the time to get into, but we all know that giving a person the most minute, insignificant little crumb of power will cause them to go absolutely haywire with it. Nowhere is this more obvious than with a Reddit mod. You don't agree with every aspect of a Reddit mod's worldview? Banned. You question any of their beliefs. Banned. You provide a fact or source that may slightly contradict one of their viewpoints. Banned. You make a remark about how the mods are going around banning everyone who doesn't immediately agree with their... Yep, it's absolutely pathetic, and it really ruins the quality of a forum when you have these dudes running around willy-nilly and banning people for bruising their egos. But you want to know what's even more pathetic? The second way a Redditor asserts their online superiority, which is downvotes. Now, your average avid Redditor will lay in bed at night, surrounded by body pillows and the familiar warm stench of their bedroom, dreaming of making it to the big leagues, becoming a Reddit mod. However, for those who don't achieve this dream, they have to settle for the next best thing, downvoting people. See, while the mods get to just ban whoever they don't agree with, the average Redditor is only able to downvote. However, it pretty much accomplishes the same objective, because for some reason I literally can't understand, Reddit will hide any comment with a ton of downvotes. Because we all know the opinion of the majority is the only metric you need to determine what people should and shouldn't see, right? No, obviously not. So tell me, what do you get when you make a website for supposedly open discussion, leave the moderating to random people to enforce the rules at their discretion, and then create a rating system where people can systematically hide comments by mass downvoting them? You create, or as I like to call it, a fart huffing chamber. A big, fat, fart huffing chamber where all they do is smell each other's farts and comment on the smell, sound, and density. Because there's no world where this is the place you go to for free open discussion. Now, one of the single worst trends to come out of the internet as of recent is something called engagement farming, or also called rage baiting. Reddit has managed to boil this down to a science, with post after post after post seeming to fit a similar pattern. Have you guys ever been scrolling on a subreddit like Am I the A-hole, and read a story that very clearly shows the poster to be in the wrong? Like, it's so unbelievably obvious that they must either have no self-awareness or... No. It can't be. Yes, I'm sorry to break it to you, but most of these posts are fake. Completely and totally fake. And of course, it doesn't really take a genius to figure this out. I mean, for some of these accounts, it's so obvious that you just have to check their post history, and they have multiple different posts of them in completely different situations, and also being different ages. Obviously, it's one thing for a subreddit where everyone's just there for content and nobody really cares about the legitimacy or not, but it's another thing entirely when you'll check the comments and people are taking it completely seriously. Alright, so needless to say, put everything I've said together, and Reddit really is just one big fart huffing chamber. Fake posts, mods that ban anyone and everything that doesn't agree with them, downvotes, just a complete mess. But now I'll turn it to you. Do you guys use Reddit? Go on. Be honest. Yeah, you use Reddit. There's no shame in it. What do you use Reddit for? Are you able to defend any of the points I made in this video? Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.